Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 9th of June. Family celebrates as Indian astronaut joins Axiom 4 space mission. Canadian lawmaker bats for stronger India ties after Kane invites Modi for G7 summit. And Pakistani's hope budget will address key economic challenges. And now for all the details, Subhanshu Shukla, an Indian Air Force pilot, is all set to follow on the steps of Rakesh Sharma and become the second Indian to travel to space. 39-year-old Shukla will be a part of the Axiom 4 mission to the International Space Station on 10th of June, which is expected to dock at the ISS on June 11. Shukla's family home in Lucknow is decorated with congratulatory posters, and the entire neighborhood is excited. Locals said they have been eagerly waiting for this day and are planning a grand welcome upon his return.
से यही प्रार्थना करते हैं कि अच्छे से अच्छे उनका मिशन कंप्लीट हो और अच्छे से सब पूरे भारत का नाम रोशन हो। हम घर वालों का तो नाम रोशन है ही, हम लोग का सीना चौड़ा हो गया है गर्व से।
हम लोगों के लिए ये भैया एक प्रेरणा बन गए हैं कि जो है उन्होंने पूरे विश्व में हमारे देश का और हमारे त्रिवेणी नगर का नाम रोशन किया है।
During the journey, Shukla will supervise the launch and docking operations. This mission marks India's feat to space after 41 years. According to Axiom Space, this mission will realize the return to human spaceflight for India, Poland and Hungary, marking each nation's first government-sponsored flight in more than 40 years. And in a major diplomatic shift, a Canadian lawmaker has hailed Prime Minister Mark Carney's invitation to his Indian counterpart for the G7 summit as a step towards mending strained ties. She also voiced concern over Khalistani extremism in Canada, urging strong action and deeper bilateral cooperation.
Member of the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia, Dallas Brody, has said Canada must rebuild ties with India, and Prime Minister Mark Carney's invitation to PM Narendra Modi for the Group of Seven or G7 summit on June 15th to 17th is a fantastic development. In an interview with ANI, she noted that relations had deteriorated under the previous government, but Carney's outreach signals a positive shift. India is not a G7 member, but can be invited as a guest to its annual gathering. Bilateral ties deteriorated after Canada's former PM Justin Trudeau accused India of involvement in the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar and of attempting to interfere in 2 recent elections. In a tit-for-tat move, both sides expelled their diplomats after linking them to the murder and alleged a broader effort to target Indian dissidents in Canada.
This move by the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, to reach out to India, I think, is a very positive development. Things have not been good for the last several years. It's very negative, and it's not okay. We need to have a better relationship with India and move forward on a positive footing. This, I think, signals that they want to fix this dynamic and really mend some very open wounds that have occurred here.
Brody also raised concerns over Khalistani extremism, calling it dangerous and scary, and urged strong action.
Well, the situation of Khalistani extremism is a major problem. There's no question. And most Hindus and Sikh people in Canada are not happy with this situation. And hopefully this will be discussed by the federal government with India. You know, I'm in the provincial government in British Columbia, where there is a large Khalistani movement. It's dangerous and scary for a lot of people, and it's time that this be dealt with firmly. And I hope that this will be discussed in meetings between Prime Minister Mark Carney and India and the G7.
Moving on, the world's largest container ship, MSC IRINA arrived at the Vizinjam International Seaport in India's Kerala state on Monday. MSC IRINA, managed by the Adani Group, is recognized as the world's largest container vessel by 20-foot equivalent unit capacity and was recently inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Explicitly designed to facilitate the transportation of large volumes of containers between Asia and Europe, the ship is pivotal in enhancing trade routes and logistics efficiency. The docking of the MSC IRINA at the Vizinjam seaport not only highlights the port's strategic importance in global shipping, but also represents a leap forward in sustainable maritime practices, setting a benchmark for future developments in the industry. And Pakistan is set to present its annual budget on Tuesday, with many hoping for lowered prices and support for vulnerable groups amid IMF's strong conditions. A report.
People in Pakistan have expressed hope that the upcoming budget will lower prices and support vulnerable groups, as the government is set to unveil its annual budget on Tuesday for the financial year 2025 to 2026. With many watching for taxation and policy measures amid IMF conditions that could affect inflation. The country's economy is on a fragile path to recovery under a $7 billion IMF program requiring reforms and policies that resulted in higher power tariffs and taxes. The global lender's priority remains anchoring inflation within the central bank's medium-term target range of 5 to 7%, it said in a statement, adding that the Pakistani authorities reaffirmed their commitment to fiscal consolidation while aiming for a primary surplus of 1.6% of GDP in financial year 2026.
इस बजट में अगर कुछ कर सकते हैं तो हुकूमत अपने अखराजात में कमी करे और आमदन बढ़ाए। जब तक ये आमदन नहीं बढ़ाएगी, अखराजात ही करती रहेगी, कर्जे लेकर अखराजात करेंगे। उन्हीं का खून निचोड़ेंगे जो टैक्स दे रहे हैं, जो नेट में नहीं है उनको आप नेट में लाने में नाकाम है, तो ये आपका फेलियर है।
Pakistan's Consumer Price Index, CPI, rose 3.5% year-on-year in May, the Statistics Bureau said, exceeding the Finance Ministry's 1.5% to 2% forecast. Pakistan is expecting an average inflation of 7.5% for the upcoming fiscal year, that is year 2025 to 2026, with a target GDP growth of just 4.04. 2% informed Pakistan's Planning Minister Ahsan Iqbal.
में चाहिए कि आवाम को अच्छा खासा रिलीफ मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो महंगाई की इस टाइम सूरत हाल है ना, उसके मुताबिक अब सफ़ेद पोश जो है ना वो बिल्कुल समझ लें कि करीबे मर गया।
Moving on, women and children in POGB took to the streets demanding release of Awami Action Committee leaders. The arrests have triggered fresh outrage in the region, already reeling under economic neglect and political repression.
Women and children recently staged a demonstration on the Giza Expressway in Pakistan-occupied Gilgit Baltistan to demand the release of Awami Action Committee leaders, including Ehsan Ali Advocate and Mehboob Wali, accusing Pakistani authorities of targeting peaceful activists and suppressing dissent in the region. The activists were arrested on May 14th under Pakistan's anti-terrorism laws and charged with involvement in anti-state activities and delivering hate speech. Local media reports suggest FIR has reportedly been registered against a total of 16 leaders.
हम यहाँ पे अवामी एक्शन कमेटी मेंबर्स की जो जालिमाना गिरफ्तारी है उसके ऊपर एहतजाज करने के लिए बैठे हैं। मर्दों को तो ये बेजा गिरफ्तार कर रहे हैं, तो हम औरतों को ही निकलना था ना, माँ और बहनों को ही निकलना था उनके लिए। 27 जनवरी 2024 को जिस तरह गंदम के लिए निकले थे, उसी तरह अपने हुकूक के लिए दोबारा निकलना होगा हम सबको।
हम लोग इसलिए एहतजाज कर रहे हैं महबूब वली और उनके दीगर साथियों को जल्द अज जल्द रिहा किया जाए, क्योंकि अवामी एक्शन कमेटी ने जब भी एहतजाज किया है, पुरअमन एहतजाज किया है, और पुरअमन एहतजाज हर पाकिस्तानी और हर शहरी का बुनियादी हक होता है।
This is yet another example of Pakistan's continued discrimination in its occupied territories, where demands for basic rights are met with arrests and intimidation. Protesters have vowed to intensify demonstrations until their leaders are released.
Bangladesh will hold national elections in the first half of April 2026, Mohammad Yunus, the chief advisor of the interim government, has said. Nobel laureate Yunus has said the country since August 2024, after student-led protest forced former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to flee to India. He is not affiliated with any political party and has ruled out running for office. He said the Election Commission would soon release a roadmap for the vote. His announcement comes amid growing unrest over wage issues and controversial civil service dismissals. Opposition groups, especially the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, have been demanding earlier elections, warning of widespread public anger. BNP leader and former PM Khaleda Zia, recently acquitted in a long-standing corruption case, is now eligible to run. The Awami League, Hasina's party, has been sidelined after its registration was suspended and activities banned under the Anti-Terrorism Act following deadly protests. Though Hasina was credited with economic progress, her government faced criticism for human rights abuses and crackdowns on dissent. The 2024 election, which gave her a fourth term, was boycotted by opposition parties, many of whose leaders were jailed or exiled. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.